Hello, everybody. Kenneth Hollins here with HollinsMusic.com. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes and watching this video. Now, what I have for you today is something to hopefully enhance your chord progressions and make your chords sound a little bit more modern or contemporary, or even maybe a little bit more interesting. One challenge that a lot of musicians have is they feel like they play the same things over and over again, and sometimes they feel like it's too basic sounding. So I'm going to give you some real simple things that you can do, but I believe it will really enhance your sound. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to play a simple progression, and then I'm going to enhance it a little bit, change it up, and then I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so let's take the key of A flat. Okay, all right, so this is the progression. It's real simple. All right, here we go. Okay, so that's the progression. Now I could actually take that and enhance it a little bit by how I voice those particular chords, and it could be something like this. Okay, so one thing that you can do is to add space to your chords to make them sound bigger. Something else that you can do is to actually change the chords themselves to alternate chords to modernize the sound or just make it a little bit more interesting. For example, we could take that same progression and we could do something like this. Okay, so same progression, but I just changed it up by playing some alternate chords. Okay, now let's talk about the space, and then let's talk about the actual alternate chords. So when I say space, what I'm talking about is, for example, I could play A flat major like this, or I could play it like that. Okay, so it's bigger. And then the thing that I try to do is to, with my left hand, spread the notes out a little bit more. One thing that you always can do that's really easy is to play a drop two with your left hand. Now what that is, excuse me, is you play, for example, A flat major with your left hand, and I'm going to invert it. And so this is what I'm going to do. This is root position, first inversion, and then second inversion. And what I'm going to do is do what's called a drop two. And it's called drop two because I'm going to take the second highest note. The highest note is C, but the second highest note is A flat. So it's that's where we get drop two from. So the second highest note, and then we're going to bring that down an octave. So from here to here. Okay? And so now this is my new A flat chord. So instead of playing it like this, I'm playing it like this. Immediately, more space, a bigger sound, and it makes it sound a little bit more advanced. Just making that one little adjustment. Again, it was nothing more than playing the major triad in second inversion and then doing a drop two. That's one thing, playing like that, okay? Doing drop two and voicings. Let me give you a different one, for example. So we went from here, okay, right here. Instead of doing that, you would say, well, that's how I play it. I would do something like that. I think I approached it like this, okay? So this is E flat major over G, right? Okay, and I'm simply playing the same notes just like this with my left hand. Notice the space in between the notes, okay? And it makes it sound bigger. And then we could keep going. I could do A flat major over F like that. It's also F minor 7, depending on how you want to look at it. Or I could do this with my left hand. Okay? Same notes. So notice your left hand has a lot to do with how big your chords sound, and even how advanced that they may sound. Okay? So that's one thing. Adding space, that's big. Okay? So we move from this to this. Okay, and that's just adding space. So that's just experimenting with your left hand. Now let's talk about alternate chords. Now this is something that I really like to do. Now these are standard progressions that I'm doing. So for example, this to this to this. That's very, very standard. Okay, so for example, we're moving from the 1 to the 7 to the 6. Okay, now what I'm referring to when I say 1, 7, 6, I'm talking about just the bass notes that I'm playing. We're in the key of A flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And so we're moving from the 1 to the 7, which is G, to the 6. Okay? Now, one thing that I really like to do when I'm moving like that from a 1, 7, 6, I love to change the 7 to an alternate chord. So I would do this. Instead of playing this, this is what I would do. Okay? That's what I would do. Sometimes. Okay? So what is that? What did I do? All right, so what this is really simple. It is just a fourth up from this particular note. So we're moving from the 1, 7, 6. So on the 7, I'm going to move up a fourth. And all that means is, think about, since this note is G, think about the G major scale. And then let's go up to the fourth tone of the G major scale, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that's C. So what I'm going to play over this bass note is a C dominant 7 chord. Okay? That's C dominant 7, all right? So you have to at least know your dominant 7 chords in order to do this. So that's essentially what I'm doing, but I have the notes spread out. Okay, so I have a C, E, G, B flat, and we're going to spread it out like this. G, E, B flat, and I did it like this. Okay, so essentially that is what I did. So I played, and then we went here to that sound. So that's a completely different sound than, okay? It functions the same way. So if I was in a church service and I was playing, someone was singing or something, you don't want to do too much. But if I was in a church service and the song was similar to that, a move like that, thank you, Lord. I could probably sneak that in there. Okay, you don't want to do too much. Just throw in a little something every once in a while. But you could probably fit that in. It would be nice. It's probably a nice little alternative. But I did put that dominant 7 in there. And another thing that you can do is I threw this A in there too. And what is that? That's the actual 13 of C. Okay, so if we were doing the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and when you put 13s in dominant 7 chords, it adds a real nice color to the chord. So again, this is what I did. And then we went here. Okay, so this is F minor. Now, what I like to do on minor chords sometimes is I will throw in a 6, okay? And the 6 in the key of F would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this D natural. And so I did this. but it's nothing more than an F minor chord, all right, with that 6 in there. Okay, so always remember that you can experiment with throwing a 6 in with your minor chord. So again, let's try that again. Okay, I did this. C, G, B flat, and the G and B flat moves to the F and A flat. And then we go here. So A flat major over E flat major. What I did was I used the same technique. So I turned it into an A flat dominant 7 over E flat. And it's nothing more than a 4th up from E flat. So let's do the E flat scale and find the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is A flat. So I'm going to do A flat dominant 7. Okay, and to spread it out, let's get some space in there. Okay, and I like to do that when I'm on the 5 of the key. Okay, go up a 4th up from that. I hope it's not too confusing. And then make that dominant. That's a nice sound. I love that sound. Right there, you know, as opposed to, okay, you put that flat 7 in there, it makes it real nice. And then just D flat major, add 2, and then instead of this, like A flat major over C, we can use the same little technique. So what's a 4th up from C? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to play F dominant 7. That's F dominant 7. Let's spread it out a little bit. Invert it, change it up over C. Okay? Instead of this. Now we have that. Then we end it. Okay? So all together we have okay, so let's put it all together. So I started off like this. All right, now let's put a little space in there. All right, let's throw some alternate chords in there. All right, that's it, okay? So hopefully that was helpful. Adding space and alternate chords to your progressions will literally take the sound of what you're doing from here all the way on up, okay? I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please take a moment and like this channel. It will really be appreciated and help the channel, as well as give it a thumbs up and make a comment. I believe that helps the algorithm as well. And you can always go to my website, hollandsmusic.com, and you can sign up for free lessons, and those lessons will be sent directly to your email. And there's so many different videos that are available right now for beginners, intermediate players, and advanced players that I believe will really help you as a gospel musician. So again, thank you so much for taking a few minutes and watching this. And always remember, HMPI, we're serving gospel musicians all over the world.